Sorry.
That's why I was just.
I know you only have one day.
Yeah.
I didn't realize our executive session was gonna be so long. I should have just had you.
Okay.
Here.
Good, thank you. Okay, everybody.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session.
Okay, roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Is there any action?
No action. Okay, all right, you're on this too?
Yeah, I just have one today. It's our regular monthly shared cost transfer and transport code assistance for the month of January.
All right. You go ahead. Where's your? Want to always have that out. There you go.
Okay. Move that the Board of Commissioners agrees to transfer $18,465.01 from Fund 1414 Child Support Administration Fund, 1410 Public Assistance Fund.
Second?
Okay, roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Thank you. Sure.
Patient.
Have a great day.
All right. Okay. Is she done? All right, there you go.
Joanne.
Good morning, how
Hey,
y'all doing?
Joanne.
Running a little behind today.
That's, well, you know, it happens. Okay,
Good
Well,
morning. Here
the
we go.
first item on my agenda is the Streetsboro wastewater treatment plant biosolid dry.
Oh, yeah. What did we
Well,
find
it's
out?
kind of imploded, as I started pulling the pieces and parts together and trying to make sense out of why the prosecutor's office didn't want to sign the contract with Wilkie. But it turns out that in August of 20, you guys did an emergency journal entry that allowed Water Resources to purchase the parts for the dryer from Comline, who they say was a sole source vendor, which I didn't have a chance. I haven't checked that to make sure. I'm pretty sure they probably are. But normal procedure for me is if someone states that, I get a certification letter from that company stating that, so we have backup. So then secondly, part of that was then that we have to get it, they had to get a mechanical contractor, a welder, and a coating specialist under separate contract to get pricing to actually take this, open up this dryer and then put the parts in for Comline, would put them in and then close everything back up. Well, Water did that. The staff requested quotes from 3 contractors to do that. Well, those quotes came in, the lowest one came in at $170,000. That is over the revised code stipulation of being an emergency. So I said, you know, it's no fault of theirs, I'm sure, you know, I don't know how it was presented to you folks, but I think Water might have had the impression that they had the approval to just go forward to get everything done on this. So what I advised John, because John Vance called me and said, what do we do? And I said, let me pull all the documentation, and I found in the minutes the journal entry to read everything. We're gonna have to step back. First off, because we did bid, we have to get a hauling contractor because they were also under the impression that they were going to be able to use any hauler, and then when it got close to $50,000, they were going to jump to a different hauler and keep jumping around. And I said, we can't do that. You can't avoid bidding because of that. So we had a bunch of things happen. So I told John, I said, here's the steps. We need to get a bid put out right away for hauling. And then that will take care of what you have to do while we put drawings and bid specs together to actually bid out the dryer piece. And I said, we can do it in 2 steps. You can either ask for 2 parts in your bid, one for the equipment and then one for the install, or you could do it all under a general contractor type of thing, where the general contractor then is responsible to go and get the parts. But they never ordered the parts.
I was just gonna ask you, so
No.
when we passed that, and I remember doing that
Yeah.
emergency resolution to replace the parts.
Right. But they
What
never,
happened with the money and
they
that's
never,
been
put-
almost a year, hasn't it?
it was August of 20 when you guys agreed to do that. And there was no requisition ever put in to purchase the parts or a contract done. It just kind of stopped. And then all of a sudden, and I don't know if they were waiting to get the parts till they got the contractor to actually open stuff up. I don't know what the thought process was there. And Jean's not here anymore to be able to check that over with. But I just wanted to let you know that it stopped, and it's, if anybody wants to say why, it was me and the prosecutor, because David was not gonna sign the contract, and I said, well, I understand. I had a conference call with both Dean and Chris, and we went through the steps, and I explained the steps to John, and John said, got it, they're starting on the hauling thing, and they're starting on getting the other piece of the bid documents ready to bid the whole thing out.
Okay, so they're gonna bid the hauling and then we're gonna have a bid out for the replacement and the install.
Correct. And
Correct, okay.
in the meantime, I'm gonna reach out to Comline, make sure that they are a sole source, so that if they want to purchase those parts directly again, they can, unless they wanna make it part of the other bid. Because under the code, a sole source vendor, you don't have, they're exempt from having to bid, so. I wanted to let you know that that's gonna be resurfacing in line.
But you need the certification letter from that vendor.
I do want that, yeah, to
Yeah.
make sure, because so, you'll see documents coming through, resolutions, setting up those big kind of things and. All right, well, into my resolutions, the first one I have is for water resources, and it's with Break Fire. They do the gate maintenance on their gates. And it's relatively inexpensive, $2,786 a year to keep all their gates functioning and doing the maintenance wear and tear on them.
Okay.
Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into an agreement between Portage County Board of Commissioners on behalf of Water Resources and Break Fire Inc., DBA Silico Fire and Security for gate prevention maintenance.
Second?
Hey, roll call.
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Okay, the next one is an amendment number 2 for Job and Family Services with Scenic View Transportation. They do not non-medical transportation for some of our citizens. This one was one from last year that should have been up here before October, because this is October 1st to September 30th of 2021, in the amount of $48,211.
Okay.
Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into amended number 1 between Portage County Board of Commissioners on behalf of Portage County Jobs and Family Services and Scenic View Transportation Inc. for transportation services.
Second?
Okay, roll call.
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
The next is setting up the bid times for the farmland leasing. It's up for renewal. We did a 3-year bid the last time contract for those parcels on Coit Road that we have. I will verify with John Vince that it's still okay that we farm those out, because at one point when Jeff was here, he was indicating that the purpose of those are that they might be using those for something else later on. So I want to make sure that they're still viable, but this will set up those in the event that you still want to bid them out.
And will this be a 3-year contract also, Joanne?
Yeah, we'll set it up for 3.
Board of Commissioners approves the specifications and set bid date for farmland leasing.
Second?
Okay, roll call.
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
And the last one is an amendment number 6 for the Portage County Recorder and CASNet, or Eyeline Corporation. This is the company that does her aperture cards, her indexing, film processing. It hasn't changed. Their amount, $19,000, was the same as last year. This is just a new renewal for the year of 2021.
Okay.
Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into the amended number 6 between Portage County Board of Commissioners, Portage County Recorder, and Highline Incorporated, DBA CASNet.
Second?
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
And one last thing, if I can ask, just for clarification for us. Last year, it was Kathleen who suggested that resolutions, instead of all being on my agenda, kind of were parsed out at some point. Like water resources would come in and talk to you guys themselves about the same ones. And that's the way she wanted to do it. And I said, well, really, are you gonna have Mickey Rossi come in and do that?
No.
So, water in particular, because they have those ones that they've been sending through separately, like on those, I forget what those things are called, I think they have one later on today for you guys to do, but they wanted to know if they can put those back on my agenda
Yeah.
and have them all taken care of. And I was gonna say, if we can, I'll get out all the departments to do that again. I think everybody figured out it was easier
Yes.
than trying to have separates,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, and you're like our gatekeeper anyway, to make sure that we have everything between you, the prosecutor, and the department, so it's like a checks and a balance.
Right, and that's what I said, I wanna make sure that, I think water resources is pretty now in tune, at least John, that if you think you wanna do something under an emergency, just
Check it
check
out.
first.
Yeah.
Because now we have to recreate the wheel and go backwards.
Joe,
Yes,
will you be back for the Board of Elections? Can you be back in here for that discussion? Todd's next, and then we have the Board of Elections.
sure. They're talking to you,
I thought they were talking to us about,
The counter.
the repairs and stuff, so I think it
stuff
would
that they
be.
wanna do in their office
Yeah, when they
again.
pull,
Yeah.
when they pull out those old Rolodex, monster Rolodex that they have.
Yeah, Jeters. or
Seemed to me
whatever.
like last year I heard that they wanted to replace it, so, yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you can.
I'll just
And then
sit
can you
around
send
here.
Mr. Todd in?
Mr. Todd,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's here.
Did you get Todd?
Just listening, huh? Oh, did David talk to you about getting those VIN numbers for me on that letter that was sent about vehicles that you guys want to sell?
Hello,
Hey there, Todd.
how are you?
Good. You want to start with resolutions or discussion?
Let's see, what time is the Board of Elections? Oh, we've got building department.
Well, and I told him.
Let's start with the resolutions, yeah, let's do the resolutions.
So, you should have got my email. We don't need number 2 again.
Yeah,
And number 3, I don't have the information on your sheet. I have been reviewing those. Marina's off sick and so the auditor's office is transferring to get that done. I would recommend passing it from, which one it is. It should
I
be
can't
on.
hear.
okay. So you want to go ahead and start with 1, 2?
Yes. Board of Commissioners, it's moved, the Board of Commissioners agrees to approve the Thursday, February 18th, 2020 bills and ACH payments presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Finance Manager. 2021, I'm sorry.
Second?
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
We're gonna do number 3 too. The Board of, it's moved, the Board of Commissioners agrees to approve the Thursday, February 18th, 2021 journal vouchers presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second?
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Board of Commissioners agrees to approve the Thursday, February 18th, 2021 then and now certification as presented by the county auditor, reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second?
Hey, roll call?
Tony,
Yes,
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
let's move the
Tom,
board.
do you have any comments on any of these?
No, the transfer is just, that is for Jill to get
For that
some
fund,
design
yeah,
work
she
for the
gets
next
back.
one.
Okay,
And then the 2 satisfactions, I don't know if you noticed, they're from 2003 again. DS must be cleaning up some files.
okay.
Okay, that 357,000, was that, I didn't follow that.
That's the fund, that's the auto title fund.
This is,
Yeah, every year they do that.
Yeah, oh, that should read 360, that is wrong there.
Okay, that should be 36.
That should be
3,600.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get that fixed.
It is moved the Board of Commissioners agrees to transfer $3,600 from Fund 1001, Certificate of Auto Title, Fund 0001, General Fund.
Second,
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Into the journal, please.
Yeah, go ahead. Todd, do you have, we already did.
These are the satisfactions that they're from 2003, they need to be done.
It is moved the Board of Commissioners signature request of satisfaction of a mortgage from Wyndham Hardware, 9155 North Main Street, Wyndham, Ohio, 44288, to secure the payment of $30,000. The original documents will be held in the Neighborhood Development Services, Inc.
Second,
Roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Is moved the Board of Commissioners signature request and satisfaction of mortgage for Wyndham Hardware, 9155 North Main Street, Wyndham, Ohio, 44288, to secure the payment of $23,000. The original document will be recorded by Neighborhood Development Services, Inc.
Second,
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Sabrina.
Yes. Is Randy Roberts out there?
Yes.
Why don't we have Randy? Todd, you're gonna be here anyways. We have to slide him in. Randy, they can answer.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning,
Hi, Joe.
everybody. Good morning, commissioners.
How are you guys doing?
Good, good. How are you doing, man?
Good. Go ahead and
Good
start.
morning. So I brought to you today a resolution, and the purpose of the resolution is to discuss fees for the townships and villages as they relate to the standard building department fees that you've already approved under resolution. Periodically, from time to time, we update those. So I prepared this in that vein. In the past, certain townships and villages, when they have constructed a community-owned building, they have to come to us and they pay the rate for those fees are. But also, I know in the past, from time to time, a township or village has come to the board and said, can you help with the fees? Can you give us some relief? And you've done that. And you, the board, has done that, whether it's you individually or not. And so in the past, the common practice has been a 50% reduction in those fees. So I thought that I had a call from Freedom Township on a project. I know that trustee called you, Sabrina, on the same subject, and we discussed it. And so I thought this would be the time to present something to the board. We do this one time. It's good from now until we change it by, some other reason. And that way my office can just do it. We can, when the townships or villages come in, we just reduce the fees and we simply move on.
More efficient.
Yeah, it just keeps things rolling and they don't have to bother you, and whether the
Because
50%.
we've had some where we waived them all, some we waived half 50%. I think when I called you, I said, I remember doing it this way and that way. And Randy suggested, which I think is great. Yeah. And then everyone knows, and then we don't have to.
And within the, you'll notice within the resolution, the way I wrote it, is I did not define the specific resolution to establish the fees, because that would change from time to time. Then we'd have to go back and change this one. And it gets
Exactly.
repetitive, so just stating that it's under the resolution that we did, those fees have already been prior established.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
What are we, 50%? 50% of the current fees. Really, it's for commercial buildings, but I left it as general because we never know what might pop up. There might be some residential use that would develop as a result. We just left that as an open-ended, not trying to target it specifically.
So I'll make a motion to pass the resolution to adopt the new Portage County Building Department fee regulations for the Portage County townships and villages.
Second,
Okay, roll call?
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Thank you.
I
know.
And Joe, you're the letter that came from that Miller Company?
Yes,
Great job, sir.
Yeah.
thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Try very hard to make sure that I represent the department and the county appropriately in all the dealings that we have. And sometimes, from time to time, we'll have a project that has the need for a little extra guidance for them. And we can teach, promote the department and do it professionally. That's.
You did well. I mean,
Thank
it
you
sounds like
very much.
all three of those ended up in that project.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. I
good job.
appreciate that.
Let alone you have a good mentor in Randy,
Well,
so.
I don't want to talk about him at all.
No, they work well
Nice job.
together.
Thank you, thank you.
Good job, Joe.
Thanks,
It's pretty
appreciate
awesome.
that very much. Thank you.
I said the same thing.
That was
Coming
a,
along.
that was a double star.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool.
we fortunately do get little note cards. In fact, Joe got a personal note card the week before from somebody that he helped on a residential project. And we get those from time to time. And
That's nice.
I don't want to blow our horns and say, oh.
But you should, you should. I'd like to see it
Yeah,
because
we do.
we hear all the other side of those.
Right.
And, you know, there might be one or two of those a year, but
Tony,
that-
you weren't here when our phones were blowing up about the building department.
I think I sent a couple on the other side.
But we have moved forward and we
That's
are
awesome.
so happy.
Good
We have
job.
Joe
We're
and
glad.
Randy mentoring him and our
Nice.
phones have silenced
Yeah.
themselves.
See, that's what it is. Nobody calls.
We call
When
you
things are
things
going well.
inside his car.
Thanks, man.
You guys have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye, Joe. Do we have the Board of Elections on there?
Okay, I'll call them.
Met with Faith last week, and said, I got a sludge here, and I could eat some stuff to make me feel better.
You probably like that.
I did, I know, I
Tear
did.
that whole building.
Well, they're, she's.
Come on in,
Do you
Todd.
want me or do you want the board?
Yeah, you can, yeah, we're waiting for the board to come up.
Hi, this is Amy at the Commissioner's Office.
Well, no,
Let
we're waiting for
Faith
the Board
and
of
Terry
Elections to come.
know
I
that
want
the board's
you
ready for them.
sitting in on that
Okay,
thanks.
conversation because
Bye-bye.
it's gonna pertain, I'm sure, to money, and I've asked Joanne
Joanne.
to come in and
Oh.
then hopefully after that, we can
Let me get a hold of
get you
Joanne
fitted
too.
in. And I think one of the things, Todd, next week we do have automatically have our meeting on a Tuesday.
Board session.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. They said you were kind of booked up. I don't, if you want to
Oh.
talk about something, we can, if not.
We have, yeah, you know why? That's when Todd Keats is coming in. He
Oh,
wants
they-
at least an hour. I have a feeling it'll be more, so we'll see what we can do.
Work for 2-3 hours, I mentioned.
And I don't know what else she has scheduled. I just know
Okay.
he will be sometime. We'll see what else we have.
Hello? Hi. Can you send Joanne up? They're ready for Board of Elections. She's not. Okay. Wait.
I think she's outside.
Okay, let me check around. Thanks, Shan. Bye.
Todd, just to verify, we're still waiting on that Attorney General's opinion. I think Chris said it's gonna be in early spring. He's hoping to have that back.
I thought you said early summer, late spring, you have a couple more months.
Okay.
That's
For
on
for
that.
the what?
That's on that
That special
election
account
fund that was set up.
for the Board of Elections.
The Board of Elections
Oh.
wants the money,
We still don't.
Board of Elections wants the money to automatically go in without the commissioners involved. The law says the commissioners need to do it.
I'm surprised it was not brought up when that account was created. That's funny.
But I mean, we're talking about that anyway, too, and
I know. Nothing dramatic. Is that correct? There's no funds in that account.
It's still at zero. Commissioners can do what they want with it. Again, the Board of Elections doesn't think so, I think. You know, they controls where they can.
Yeah. That's the question. Because that's the way we understood it. It doesn't appear so. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi.
How are y'all?
Morning.
Good. Hi, Elaine.
Hi.
I'm looking at everybody's mask.
Oh, for the fashion.
How about you, Terry?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
How are you?
Oh, actually, I got this one. The other ones I didn't.
You're good for.
Yeah, you guys can come up,
Yeah.
but you have to stay spaced out there.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just.
And if you want to take this off while you're sitting in the cubicle,
I'm so used to it.
God bless you.
You gotta speak up.
Yeah, 'cause she's not gonna be able to
Yeah,
hear you. with
it's
your
hard to
mask
hear.
on.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we have the plexiglass if we want to take it off.
Well, I'm comfortable with
Okay,
my
they're
own.
fine.
You just have to speak up.
Oh.
Yeah, shout it, shout.
Shout it out.
Shout it. There's the song about it.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, thank you all for taking time to meet with us. Today, we have myself, Faith Lyon, Director, Terry Nielsen, Deputy Director. Two of our board members, Denise Smith is our chair, and Elaine Cross is one of our members with us. And we wanted to go over 3 items with you. I do believe you probably received the outline with a map to it, hopefully.
Yes.
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 Okay. So the items we would like to discuss with you today are the replacement of our card bearer, which we've discussed in the past, but we want to give an update on that. Some renovations for our main office, which again, we have spoken about in the past and want to give updates, and then a new item, which is the generator. So with regards to the card bearer, as you might recall from our previous budget meetings, we purchased the 2 card bearers we currently have, the first one in 1995, the second one in 2000. Those card bearers are at end of life. The original manufacturer is no longer in business, and the individual who does service those card bearers for us is at end of life with the replacement parts. He does not have many left to replace the keypads and other operational components needed for the card bearer. Because of that, we started having conversations in the budget meetings and do have a line item for the replacement of those card bearers. We've been waiting for a time when we could make that replacement happen because it takes 15 to 17 weeks lead time to order and have those card bearers installed. Because this is an off-year election, this is the perfect year for us to do that with those card bearers. So what we are doing is we are going ahead and getting a new card bearer. We're having only 1 card bearer come in to replace the 2 because it's a larger capacity and it goes floor to ceiling instead of the long wide ones that are about our height. So we will only be getting 1 card bearer to replace both of them.
Okay, one to replace the, okay.
Yes,
What does something like that cost?
just over $46,000.
I thought it was more than that before.
We were being quoted before more,
Yeah, I
so.
would say it was like 70 some, it was a lot more.
Yeah, we actually found a company that is giving us quite a good deal, and part of that deal is because at this point, it is believed that the slots that we store the cards in currently, the little shelves that come in and out of that card there, that we'll be able to recycle the current ones that we use and have those to be used in the new ones, so we don't have to buy new components to store those cards.
The positive of that?
We are confirming it right now. They told us in our initial meetings and quotes that that would be correct, though they have since asked us to send them one with the cards, not the actual cards, but something to give the effect of the card so that they can do measurements and a weight test on that to ensure that everything will work.
If that doesn't work, does that then go up to 70,000?
That would increase our price. Yes. And so when they do the card bearer replacement, right now we are looking at that taking place the 1st of June, if all goes well. We will need access to the county dock so that they can bring in the new card bearer and also have a way to extract the old card bearers. With the extraction of the old card bearers, they will have to take those apart in our office space and remove them piece by piece out through the loading dock into the trucks to take them out to recycling, which then brings us to our next point with the office that we would like to do that Terry's going to discuss.
So, once you remove those card bearers, currently under there is probably 2 different colors of carpet. One's a gold, lovely 1970s gold color, and then we have whatever the carpet is there. So it sort of makes sense to to replace the carpet. And the other reason to do so is we need, our counter in our office is not ADA compliant. We could easily have somebody file a lawsuit against us for that. So we need to replace the counter.
So what do you do now if someone is ADA that needs, how do you guys handle that now?
So right now we have a table,
Okay.
but it's not at the counter, it's across.
So
the counter.
across the aisle there?
Yes, so we need to have a counter, a space, yeah, with a lower section.
Like the banks do now, they have it where someone can pull up versus, okay.
Exactly. And since we need to replace the counter, what we would like to do is to reconfigure the office space. Because once you tear that counter out, who knows what's under there as far as flooring goes. I mean, it's been there for probably 30 years.
You might have shag carpet.
There might
Oh, they
be
did, it's kind of like that.
or melting, or, yeah, so we want to be compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act, and so on your diagram, we would reconfigure the counter. So the counter runs currently north and south, and we would make it go east and west,
Oh, okay.
which would open up that floor space, because our ladies need to have larger cubicles. They don't have enough space to keep the paperwork at their desks. And so in addition, so the way kind of we see this happening is we would have the counter taken down. The card bearer would be removed because right now.
Because how would you get that out without the counter? I mean.
You'd have to cut it into much smaller pieces to remove it. But if the counter is down and all of the cubes are out, they can just move it out.
What are you gonna do with all the ladies while you take all the cubicle stuff out?
So we have enough computer places for them and other places in the office. So we have 3 cubes in the absentee room. We have 3 computers in our voting room, because at the end of May, May into June, we won't be using that space. So we have enough places to put people, so we can continue to operate.
Right.
We'll have the public come in the voting room door as opposed to the main entrance. But if we have all of that stuff out of there, the carpet can be replaced, new card bearer can be put in, and then the new counter and the new cubicles.
Yep.
We have a fair amount of money to cover most of the items here. And you'll see what we are looking for from the county is obviously Faith and I and our staff are not set up to tear out a counter.
I've seen the muscle on you.
It's fun time, but.
Or to remove the old cubicles. There's a partial wall that's a non-wavering wall that we would like to have taken down that will open up the space a bit more. We are looking to the county to install new carpet, to paint the walls. Might as well paint the walls while we're, you know. And then there's some necessary electric work. So the 2 card bearers we have right now work on 110 volt. The new one is a 120. So we would need to have to
update it.
So we would need to have a new line for that. And then we would need to have power supplies for the rewiring for the cubicles.
Now, Terry, do you have quotes for any of this? When you say that you guys have money that you can contribute towards this, do we know, other than, I know the card bearer you just said was 46, which is a tremendous decrease from what I remember before.
So we have a quote for the office furniture, which is $32,000.
Okay.
And I have a quote to do the data line rewiring for the cubicles, you know, the computer lines and that sort of thing. And that is $6,000. And obviously, we're not in a position to know the carpet costs or anything like that, because those are
Carpet
things.
paint, yeah.
I mean, I don't think you all want us to hire a carpet person. to come
No,
in.
that would go through Joanne.
Right. I mean, some of the things, like tearing out the old counter, removing the cubicles and the partial wall could be done potentially by maintenance. But I'm not gonna call anybody and say, hey, we need you to take this partial wall down.
Joanne, do you have any comments, or are you aware of these requests prior to today, or?
No, I was not.
Okay.
I got a couple questions, if I could ask them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. On the Cardbear, so if I understood correctly, just want to make sure, they're going to take your old one? Okay. And they're going to disassemble it to small enough pieces to squirrel through?
Yes.
Or would it be better to try, and do you have any time frame? Is this like a one-day thing? Or a few hours?
No,
I
it's
mean, because I can't also, we have trucks in and out, we've got
Yeah.
big semis that come back there.
Yeah.
And maybe it would be simpler to have the truck that's taking away your stuff come to the front and come in the front doors there and squirrel it right out, if we can get them parked out of the way of public walking in. I don't know.
It would be, it's about a 2-week process,
2 weeks?
but it would be a scheduled process when they would need times for at the loading dock, where we could schedule those times with.
Right, and I think that they're primarily, it's not so much the taking out,
Mm-mm.
it's the coming in, because what they're bringing in is not gonna be in pieces.
Okay,
And
so.
in smaller pieces, I mean, they don't care what the old one looks like.
Yeah.
So the one thing we're gonna wanna know, we're gonna wanna make sure is that can it get through the doorways there?
They have already looked
Okay,
at the space there
Okay.
to make sure that it could make its way from the dock.
and
to
around
our-
the corners,
Yeah.
okay, because we always have issues ourselves sometimes with big things on pallets.
Yeah.
That don't wanna make it through.
Yeah, they came through last year just before budget time and reevaluated with your desks and everything to make sure they can make those turns.
Okay. Let's see, what else did I write down here? The only caveat I would say, yes, maintenance can do removal of carpet and they can paint but we also work around the limited staffing we have, and then we're also doing the UV cleaning of several areas that take up time now in the courthouses and so forth. So it'll be a timing issue and trying to schedule as many guys as we can to get in and get that done. But, did I hear you give a date as when you think, when do you think that they could start to take out the carpet and all that? Is there?
So we certified the May election on the 26th of May.
Okay,
So from that point forward, we will be having
Starting
the
to-
staff,
okay,
pack up their cubes.
Okay.
I would need to schedule the time with the Cardbear people to take it apart, because the cubes would have to,
be
the
gone.
counter, the cubes, and then the Cardbear.
Is anybody taking the cubicles back? Is your new furniture person taking those?
No.
No,
So these are something that just needs to be trashed, or is
Disposed
this?
of, or is there another department that might find use?
Oh, okay,
Because I think if you remember correctly, when that renovation was done, which was when Lowe's and Glenda were here about 2007, you had ordered those cubes and they were actually refurbished cubes. So if they still have some life in them, they're just too small for us. So there might be other departments
Okay.
that may be able to use those.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
all right. I think that's all right now. I might have more later
Oh,
on.
sure, absolutely.
Do you guys have an extra copy of this that maybe we could give to
Oh, yeah,
Joanne?
no,
I don't know,
absolutely.
yeah, that might help, because it does have the
Sure, great, thank you.
project needs to start
Yes,
date by.
Sharon.
And I think we got-
Any other
Yeah,
questions?
so that's regarding our office improvements. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, so now of the cost that you have already received to do the replacements of like the Cardbear and the cubicles and stuff, how much money are you looking of those items? Now I know there's some things like paint, carpet that we don't know yet. Are you looking to the commissioners to contribute towards, because I did hear you say that you had some money, so I'm just trying to.
So the only thing we're not asking you for money to buy any of this. We're asking, for the items below. How much they cost, I don't know. As far, we're not asking you for money for the conveyor. We're not asking you for money for the cubes. We're not asking for money for the data
Yes.
rewiring.
Sit down.
Those are the things we're not asking for.
Okay.
Tear out,
So
tear
you're looking
everything out,
for like
paint, carpet and paint.
the manpower, basically, the manpower
Right,
to get it out, as well as the paint and the carpet expense.
right, and then the two electrical items.
Oh, yes, to
installing
up-
120,
Install it to one, okay.
and then to do the electrical wiring for the cube.
I think Joanne has another.
Yeah, I,
question.
one more question when I saw this. Are you purchasing a counter?
Yes.
Okay, so that, okay, and that will be installed then with all your cubicle kind of things? Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't something you were looking for maintenance to build or whatever.
Oh, no.
Okay, great.
But you're looking to maintenance to possibly install it?
No,
No?
no,
Oh, not the counter. Okay.
not the counter.
Not the counter or any of the.
Just get everything out.
Get it out.
Put a new floor and
You just
paint.
want everything out and new carpet and
And a couple of electric.
and a couple of.
Right.
Yes, I have it on
I
my
don't
list.
forget those.
Yes,
I don't
I
know
see
what-
that. I'm glad when you do this. Now moving down, and I don't know if I'm jumping ahead and I apologize, the generator.
Yes.
Yeah,
That came to light when we had the power outage at the beginning of the year, and it became known that not all the server components, including ours, weren't on the backup generator. Which was a problem, so we've had some discussions with Lloyd about that. We also have a lot of concerns, because as you all know, when we are running an election, we cannot very well, absentee voting starts 30 days prior to the election, so about a month before.
Mhm.
And we continue the voting process through until a month after the election. At no point in that time can we turn away voters or not be able to produce information for the reconciliation of the election or information to the Secretary of State, because we don't have power. That's just not an acceptable answer, not only to our constituents and the citizens of Portage County who are trying to vote, but also when we're trying to certify that election and make sure that everybody gets that information appropriately. So we do want to ensure, and we've had conversation with Joanne, to determine if we are on that generator. It does not appear that we are on the generator to work, and it doesn't have to be our entire office, but it does need to be our main office area where the ladies have their computers and their workstations, and our voting area for certain, in our absentee area, and our serving gems room where we have our information for our voting processing.
Joanne, doesn't EMA have generators or something, backup generators, I thought?
They do. He does, yeah. And we are attempting to get a quote to find out, we have no more room on our generator to add anything more than
Exactly.
what we
so-
already have.
That's what I'm saying,
We're
is there one that
asking-
we could take from EMA, or
Correct.
do we need to get? I don't know, because I was thinking EMA had generators
They
that are
do.
just there for
He does,
emergencies.
but, and I don't know what the process for that would be. We can talk to Ryan about that. But we also are having a quote done for the purchase of a separate generator to kind of handle that area. But I know that from first conversation, I think they have to break up the concrete or whatever to do some conduit underneath or whatever that might be, I don't know if it'll jack the price up or whatever, but
Yeah.
we need to know all of that first before we do the other renovation around there, but we're trying to get you some offsetting things.
Gotcha.
I mean, could one generator, if he's got one on a trailer, be brought in and hook everything up that they need to? I don't know. That's the question we have to ask,
Yeah.
because I'm not a
Nor do
generator
we.
expert to know.
And you know,
Yeah,
and that's what I say, if we have, because you know, they really don't get a lot of use. That's why I'm thinking if we had one that
right.
And we're amenable to any solution. We just want
Yeah.
to make sure that you
You have
understand we
one.
need a solution. And that if it is something where it's a rental or it's a part-time, that it's definitely available in that 2-month span for each election, which is 3 times a year, about 6 months of the year.
Yeah, I would think that we would want to purchase one. I'm not for rental because, you know, what if we couldn't get, I mean, this is not something that's gonna go away. This happens every year. So in my mind, it would make more sense to just fire
Well,
one.
and if I'm not mistaken, I think with the purchase of the Manaway Village stuff, I believe that we got a trailer with a generator through that whole thing with Water Resources, but I will confirm that with them as well, because there's another possibility, I suppose. So,
And so it may just be wiring and figuring out.
yeah,
how to do it.
exactly how it would connect to get you guys running, I don't know, that's the piece I just
Yeah,
don't
I
know. So, we'll find that out though.
Yeah.
So just to recap, your tentative start date would be after, May
26th.
26th, right? So Joanne then has time to check her maintenance schedule. She will check on the generator and what it takes, and then we should be able to try to put something together to work out with you, and Joanne would do the scheduling, especially like for deliveries and stuff when you need the dock.
I have to ask, sounds very reasonable to me.
I do too. Yes, and we appreciate, we know you guys work hard, so we appreciate all you guys are doing down there, and your staff's wonderful, and, you know, I heard from several people when, you know, we had early voting, there's line talking about coming and how, you know, pleasant and professional. And even a couple times I had to drag people to the bullpen, but you guys were willing, because there was questions.
Yeah,
So I appreciate it.
thank you.
And that generator, we had spoke about that. 'Cause
Yes.
At that one meeting we had where we spoke, we thought the generators were a minor thing. And you're talking 6 months out of the year that those generators have to be there. I just want to make sure we're all
That's why I'm
aware.
saying it makes more
It's-
sense just to get.
Yeah, this is a longer term than everybody,
Yeah.
we all thought.
Well, and if we have any other early elections or special elections throughout, you would need them as well.
Right, right. I mean, we always have 2 elections every year, and then the August is a, you know, we don't have that every year. And we don't ever know ahead of time whether we're not working on that.
Okay, ladies, just in time, 11 o'clock, public comment.
Right on schedule. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your
Thank you guys for
time.
coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, for coming in.
Yes.
Bye, Denise.
Good to see all of you.
Good seeing you.
I still get
Bye-bye.
excited when I see Denise. I'm like, oh, does she have her sideways sheet to go over?
No, and I didn't even say anything. So although I will say one thing, one of the things I have to say that they did not ask for was, neither one asked to have their office renovated.
You know, and you asked about a bathroom too. For all those ladies, there's one little itty bitty bathroom in
Yeah,
that space.
I
so,
asked them why it was,
Yeah, look into that.
I'm sure of it. Okay.
But there's a lot of people down there.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Amy, do we have any public comment? Is there anyone else?
Mr. Lambert,
Oh, there's Mr. Lambert. Does Mr. Lambert want
were you here for public comment? Oh, okay, come on in.
to fill out a form?
Yeah, come on.
Come in, sir.
I need you to fill out a form eventually, but if
Okay.
you could sign in, that would be great. And those are sanitized.
Come on over. You got 5 minutes, Mr. Lambert.
I only need a minute.
Okay,
I'm gonna try to make it real short and sweet and to the point.
okay.
Just to correct some misconception. I know Bruce said, there's a sheriff that talked about having a meeting with the commissioners and, to talk about his visions for the county. And he was, I guess there was some concern or some discussion about having it as part of a commissioner's meeting.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's not happening.
Okay.
yeah. It should be his meeting.
It is his meeting.
Okay,
So what I've done is he has prepared just an invitation for everybody
okay.
to attend his meeting. And there's the invitation
Thank you.
and that's all I got. So then he can take.
You didn't even take nowhere near.
I will RSVP now.
RSVP now. yes.
Unfortunately, I can't come and I've already responded to Sherry, so,
Okay,
okay?
okay. Well, I know there was a lot of concern about it and I'm just trying to fix it.
Thank you.
And he's
Thank
in
you.
Columbus and I'm here.
There you go.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you,
Thanks,
Larry.
Sherry.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Think you'll be able to attend that?
Yeah.
Y'all have a nice day.
You too, Larry. Thank you very
too,
much. sir.
Larry. Okay, any other public comment, Amy?
Let me check.
You wanna do all these, Sabrina, then have Todd come back in and talk about?
She's just checking to make sure we don't have another public comment.
So this is just like from the one question, giving
Yeah.
our opinion that we'd like them to start counting first responders as police officers too.
Yeah, this is a letter of support.
Yeah.
We're gonna pass a resolution. Because it's still on our.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm
Okay,
shocked
thank you.
to hear that.
Have a good day.
CCAO and people down in Columbus, I talked to Gail, and they said, you know, the governor just has to prioritize, and right now his prioritizing was the congregated settings, the firefighters, because they're the ones that go on the EMT calls and stuff, and then now he's moved it to the schools, because, you know, again, but for some,
Because they respond together.
well, and that's what I asked, but, you know, he said because it's limited, but it just doesn't do it. Yeah, I know. I've had several calls and, you know, wanting to know if there was anything we can do, and I said no, but then we got this, and we're gonna make it known that we would be in support.
Drop me or?
Yeah, just say, we're gonna, you can come on
Yeah,
up.
come on in, this will only take a second, Todd.
Yeah.
and do our last-
Okay, no other public comment, Amy?
Nope.
Okay, go ahead. Tony, you want to start here?
It is moved the Board of Commissioners approves the February 11th, 2021 regular meeting minutes.
Second,
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
You going down to the next one?
Yep, resolution.
It is moved the Board of Commissioners adopts a resolution urging Governor DeWine and the Ohio Department of Public Health to include law enforcement in Tier 1B regarding distribution of COVID-19 vaccine and to increase the amount of vaccines sent to Portage County to accomplish this request.
Second,
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Sabrina,
Yes. Journal
Journal
entries?
entries. It is moved the Board of Commissioners acknowledges the receipt of Portage County investment reconciliation for the month of January 2021, received on February 9th, 2021, as presented by the county auditor and the county treasurer.
Second,
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Moved in accordance with Ohio Revised Code, Section 325.01. The Board of Commissioners acknowledges the receipt of the monthly record of the proceedings and transactions of November 2020, December 2020, January 2021, as presented by the Portage County Sheriff's Department.
That code section is 325.07. Second,
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
It is moved that in accordance with the revised code, Section 325.07, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges the receipt of the monthly records proceeding and the transactions for January 2021, as presented by the Portage County Sheriff's Department.
Second,
Roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
It's moved the Board of Commissioners acknowledges the receipt of the February 12, 2021 certificate of county auditor and the total appropriations from each fund do not exceed the official estimated resources for the fiscal year beginning January 2021 as presented by the Portage County auditor.
Second,
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Sabrina.
Yes. Okay, Todd. We're gonna go back to.
Two items I want to keep on your radar. There's really not anything to decide today. Vehicles, at some point here soon, you need to be your vehicle replacements. I think we told you that GM has cut off new orders. They did that early January. So if we would end up purchasing any Tahoes, those would be off the dealers. I've expressed that a lot of entities will cut off jobs by that date. Usually we get a warning. They literally announced the day they were closing it, but they were closing it. So a lot of entities throughout the state are going to be turning to
On the line.
the dealer overstock. And so we just want to make sure that we get moving on that. Ford actually is still taking orders. As of right now, though, the sheriff's department in particular has expressed interest in the Tacos, if we can still get them. Manway Parkway, it's actually Manway Boulevard, I put parking.
Yeah.
I just want to bring that to the board's attention. If we would move on the airport, that would be one of the first projects I would recommend that we take care of. I don't know if you've heard of it recently, but
Yeah.
it's horrible. What we need to do though is if you want Mickey to do it, you are going to need to have him evaluate it first to even determine what level of repair it needs. I'm assuming it's gonna more than just throwing stuff over the top.
No.
Have him
Well,
give you an
you
estimate and then you can decide from there. He is currently trying to put together his program, and so the only reason I bring that up to you is if you wanted to get in this year's program, while Mickey is always very good about trying to accommodate it, the sooner you let him know that that may be something that you'd like him to do, the easier it's gonna be for him to kind of look
I think we should have a look at it, because that should also be in our consideration with this whole airport package. I mean, we're looking at, you know, the cost, the expenses, we're still doing our due diligence, trying to figure out and meet with different people, you know, just exactly what we're looking at with that. I would be interested in having Mickey at least go out and look at it and give us a cost to
have him
see.
do the evaluation and get you an estimate. I can send him
That
email.
should still be in our consideration.
Honest, it's been year after year after year, but that's something that eventually the commissioners are going to have to do, period. The township has already indicated that they have no responsibility for it, Mickey has indicated he has no responsibility for it. The airport can't possibly ever do it. So
And-
whether we take it over or not, it's probably not all.
And as it is though, it's my understanding Mickey can't do it.
Well, he can do it, he can't pay for it out of the tax. It has to come out of general fund.
That's from 44 back to
That's the
that
main
gate
entrance.
there,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
those little parking lots and easeways there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the road is actually considered a road, not a driveway,
Okay.
but it doesn't fall in anybody's street.
It belongs to no one.
So it was never dedicated, I guess.
Yeah.
Can we dedicate it after we pave it?
Yes, you'll still be responsible for it.
Okay.
But it's Mickey's only responsible for these type of roads,
Right.
that wouldn't fall in there even if you did that. And then the other question, we talked about possibly getting the boxes of the commissioner's records brought over to here. You have 364 boxes sitting in the record center.
364.
Yeah. the
Bringing them over
suggestion
where?
To here.
Annex, in our building here, we were talking.
So-
That big office over there.
Yeah,
So Joanne's area,
Okay,
fill those rooms and then your staff can,
go through.
I'm
Oh.
Amy can help me, but I'm almost sure 95% of it is trash.
It can be gone.
Shredded.
How quickly would we be able to determine if it is trash?
Well, that's the key, is if we have it over here, staff can go through it as they have time
Yeah.
and slowly whittle away at it. While it's sitting over there, not a single
Nothing.
box has been removed.
Correct.
So our thought is to hire movers, have them clear it out in one day, bring it here in one day, and then slowly go through it. We just wanted to make sure whether the commissioners want that to happen, and whether you want staff to use their time.
Yeah,
to do
I
it.
think we should go ahead because if we don't, it's never gonna get done. Just sitting out there and it's out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
We hear about it, we talk about it, and then that's the end of it.
You had a good example, what you said last time is we need to set the example for everybody else that we want to start getting rid of that.
Kind of trash is gonna be shredded, is that correct?
It doesn't all have to be, it's recycled,
Okay,
but
okay,
a lot of that is just old
because, you know, talking about,
memos and stuff like that, those can just be recycled.
talking about the shredding again, I went into Susan Lynn's office last week, and oh my gosh, she's got stuff that needs to be shredded all over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were talking, the sheriff's department was talking with Bill Steiner the other day when we were trying to get rid of the garage. And Bill is doing some still shredding there.
Yeah, but you have to take it there.
We have to, yeah, you have to.
But see, that's the
And
problem.
that shredder too, let me tell you.
They said it was old and
Oh,
possibly
nice last day.
instead of them paying for somebody else to, Bill said it could be.
Well, maybe we could use it till it completely,
Capoots.
They're doing it right now.
But the problem is people just have to be able to haul it
Oh,
out there, and
yeah.
that's the
That's
issue
it,
we
yeah.
have. I still think we should take a look at getting a shredding company. Even, I know the treasurer has expressed an interest, getting someone, I know Kelly Jo has, what is it, Iron Mountain that comes
Iron
here?
Mountain does shredding. There's other companies that will come and shred on site. There's companies that will take it and shred at their location. You can set up pickup every week. You can set up pickup every day. You
You know,
can set up
John, if
pickup
we would
every month.
consolidate, wouldn't it be more economical? to do that,
That's what
or-
I'm
I think it
thinking.
makes sense, like for this building, to have maybe a once a month pickup. Tell everybody you need to bring your stuff to here, whether that's the loading dock or out front or wherever it may be, and then have the company come pick it all up and take care of it. And if we decide once a month is too much, then we go to every other week or whatever. the case
Every
may be.
other month or something. Well, you know what? I have shredded and they shred on site
Yeah.
and then I get a certificate right
Yeah.
there that
Yeah.
day. I mean, and they have the big, it
Yeah.
doesn't take, I wouldn't have as much as probably the entire building, but it also makes people want to get rid of stuff versus having it piled up everywhere. And then someone leaves, it's like, oh my gosh. So, I know I had mentioned to Joanne before, I'll mention her again. I think we really do need to get a shredding company for the building.
It's our understanding if stuff is a copy and the original is elsewhere, number one, we don't need to keep it. The question is whether the commissioners want to keep it here. So for example, contracts are kept down in Joanne's office. Do you want us keeping copies up here
What is our
somewhere?
record retention? And Amy, we were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, here we're talking copies. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I know that, but,
Well, contracts are 15 years from the expiration.
yeah,
The question
but
I'm
they're
asking though is
copies.
if the original contract is down in Joanne's,
yeah.
do you
Do
want
we
us
need to
keeping a
still
copy?
keep an
The copy has no record retention.
Okay.
The copy you can trash whenever you want. I'm of the team throwing away. We got the original somewhere.
Yeah, as long as Joanne has it. I mean,
And that's all we have to do. That's why we gotta bring the boxes here instead of throwing them out straight away, is we just have to verify that some of those old items are kept elsewhere. We know that the current processes, they are kept elsewhere, here's some of that, some of that old stuff. So if you guys are okay with it, those boxes will start loading those rooms.
Yes.
And then start shipping away.
thank you. Oh, Todd, hold on just a second. Amy, can you check our calendar for Tuesday? I know Todd Peaks is on it and he needs at least an hour.
Let's see. Then stable, direct deposit presentations.
That's why we have the state's treasurer coming in to do that stable. Oh, that's right, you're gone next week. Are you here Thursday then next week? Okay, you're just not here Tuesday. Okay. So we have them and we have
Regional.
planning, so that'll pretty much take up the morning. What's our Thursday looking like? Can we set aside?
Well, Kelly Jo's coming, so she has her big 45-minute meeting. So, I mean, we could do something in the afternoon.
And,
we have all the
could you
regulars.
Wait another week or do you want
I
to?
can wait another year if you want.
No.
It's the board's pleasure. to want some of this stuff.
No, but I'm just saying, well, our schedule is booking up because we haven't done stuff in Slip Wherever. So that's why I'm asking. Next week is already booked. We're normally booked at least a good week out if we got stuff coming
How
in.
much time do you need, Ted?
Again, that'll kind of be up to the board. My thought, we started with facilities. We still have a long way to go with facilities, but we don't need to necessarily jump right back into that immediately. But the next step is you guys need to start organizing your main operating budget. We even though it's one budget, we kind of think of it as two pieces, capital and operating. I've told you, we have a lot of requests pending with the board, but then there's also some very clear indications from the board that where we left off in December is not necessarily where you guys are thinking of picking up right now, and that needs dealt with. Because
Okay,
either I
hold,
need to know that we're going the other way, or others need to know you're going the other
okay,
way.
hold on, Todd. So what is our time block? Because maybe we can, I know Todd was an hour, so we need to hold him to an hour then.
You mean Tuesday? This
Yes.
Yeah, Tuesday.
They have 45 minutes
Okay.
to an hour, 10 to
It'll be
11.
an hour. Wait, okay.
Yeah,
And then when is stable?
well, Todd Pete's is 9 to 10.
Okay,
And then
and then-
Stable's 10 to 11.
Okay, so
11 to 12.
we'll have you come in at 11 then.
That's fine.
11:30.
Is there anything in particular you want me to bring, or if you just want? me
No,
to
you're the
bring
one
like-
requesting it, so come prepared.
I mean, it's, because you talked about what the board talked about in December, which I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So kind of a brief of what that was and.
And I think it would be nice, Todd, and I talked to you about this before, is to have a list of the requests. I mean, like I said, it befuddles me because we're not even 2 months into the budget, and it's like, where were these requests last year? And all of a sudden, everyone, has all these requests, so we need to figure out going forward how we want to deal with those.
See, evidently they're contacting you, because nobody contacts.
Well, that's the other question, as I know, but like, like you have the IT come formally to the
Oh, yeah,
board.
yeah.
Randy, I don't believe has come
Not-
formally to the board,
not
but he's
But
made his
he-
intentions clear. There's a few others like that where,
We need to
Everybody
address,
knows
and
people
I told Randy to probably give us until March, because, we were just all of a sudden getting inundated.
Yeah.
And I understand people think we have this carryover and it's just free money, but
well, again, I always
Wait.
tell the board, you need to have people distinguish between one-time money and continuous money.
well, and
We
that's
have a
my
lot of one-time
concern.
money. We have very little continuous money. And so one-time money spent on one-time things is good. One-time money spent on continuous things is gonna get us in trouble.
Okay,
Yep.
so come prepared, and if you can give us that ahead of time.
Yeah, I'll try and get
so I
something for you
can look at
tomorrow.
it, I would appreciate it. All right, do we have anything else to come before the board?
No, ma'am.
Vicky, you wanna
Move
move
to
it?
adjourn.
I'll second. Oh, Tony, a second. Roll call.
Vicky,
Yes,
Tony,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes. All right, thank you.
now you have to go to lunch.